Have you ever noticed that your mind seems to race more at night? It's a common experience, one that many of us share. As the day winds down and we finally lay our heads on the pillow, our minds often seem to do the exact opposite of what we want them to do. They speed up. As the lights dim and the world quiets, the silence can be deafening. The absence of daytime distractions leaves room for our thoughts to echo louder and clearer. It's almost as if the quiet night amplifies our inner dialogue. Our brains often decide it's the perfect time to replay every worry, every fear, and every awkward moment of the day. This can be incredibly frustrating, especially when all we want is a good night's sleep. But why does this happen? Why do these thoughts seem louder in the darkness? But why? Why do these thoughts seem louder in the darkness? The answer lies in a combination of factors. During the day, we are bombarded with external stimuli, work, social interactions, and various activities that keep our minds occupied. At night, these distractions fade away, leaving us alone with our thoughts. What is it about the night that turns our brains into overthinking machines? One reason is that our brains are wired to solve problems. When we finally have a moment of peace, our minds start to process unresolved issues from the day. This can lead to a cascade of thoughts that keep us awake. The answer, it turns out, is not as simple as you might think. It's a fascinating mix of biology, psychology, and even a little bit of evolution. Our ancestors needed to be alert at night to protect themselves from predators, and this heightened state of awareness has been passed down to us. It's a fascinating mix of biology, psychology, and even a little bit of evolution. Our brains are incredibly complex, and understanding why we overthink at night requires looking at multiple factors. From the way our brain chemistry changes in the evening to the psychological impact of the day's events, there are many reasons why our minds race when the lights go out. As we explore the reasons why we overthink at night, we'll uncover the fascinating ways our brains work. We'll look at how stress and anxiety can trigger overthinking, and how our brain's natural rhythms can sometimes work against us. But don't worry, there are ways to combat this. We'll uncover the fascinating ways our brains work and learn some practical tips for calming the mind and getting a better night's sleep. Techniques like deep breathing, meditation, and creating a bedtime routine can help quiet the mind and prepare it for rest. So join me on this journey as we delve into the mysteries of the midnight mind. Together we'll explore the science behind overthinking and discover effective strategies to help you achieve a peaceful night's sleep. Sweet dreams await. During the day, our attention is often pulled in many directions. We're constantly bombarded with tasks, responsibilities, and interactions that demand our focus. We're busy with work, school, family, and friends. Each moment is filled with activities that keep our minds occupied and engaged. Our brains have a lot to process, and there's often little time for quiet reflection. The constant stream of information and interaction leaves us with little room to think about anything else. But when night falls, the distractions of the day fade away, the hustle and bustle of daily life come to a halt, and a sense of calm begins to settle in. We retreat to the comfort of our beds, and suddenly our minds are free to wander. The quiet of the night provides a stark contrast to the noise of the day. Without the constant input of the outside world, our brains shift gears. They transition from processing external stimuli to delving into our internal thoughts and feelings. They move from processing external stimuli to focusing on internal thoughts and feelings. This shift can be both a relief and a challenge. This is a natural part of the sleep-wake cycle, but it can also be a breeding ground for overthinking. The quiet of the night can amplify our thoughts, making them seem louder and more pressing. In the absence of distractions, those nagging worries and anxieties we've been pushing aside all day come bubbling to the surface. The unresolved issues and concerns that we managed to ignore during the day now demand our attention. It's in these quiet moments that our minds can become a battleground of thoughts and emotions. The stillness of the night can make our worries feel more intense and overwhelming. However, this time can also be an opportunity for introspection and problem-solving. By acknowledging our worries and addressing them, we can find ways to cope and manage our stress. Embracing the quiet of the night and using it as a time for reflection can help us gain clarity and peace of mind. It's a chance to reset and prepare for the challenges of the next day. Silence can be a beautiful thing. It's in these quiet moments that we often find clarity and peace. The absence of noise allows us to connect with the world around us in a more profound way. It allows us to hear the whispers of nature, the subtle sounds that are often drowned out by the hustle and bustle of daily life. The rustling of leaves, the chirping of birds, and the gentle flow of a stream become a symphony of serenity. In these moments we can also tune into the rhythm of our breath, feeling each inhale and exhale as a reminder of our own existence. It's a grounding experience that brings us back to the present. And then there's the gentle beating of our hearts, a constant reassuring presence that we often take for granted. In silence we can truly appreciate this vital rhythm. But silence can also be deafening, especially when it comes to our thoughts. When the external world quiets down, the internal world can become overwhelmingly loud. In the stillness of the night with no external sounds to compete with, our thoughts can seem amplified, echoing loudly in the chambers of our minds. Every worry, every fear, every doubt can become magnified. This heightened awareness of our thoughts can be overwhelming, especially if those thoughts are negative or anxiety-provoking. It's as if our mind is playing tricks on us, making mountains out of molehills. It's like turning up the volume on a song you don't like. It becomes impossible to ignore. The more we try to push these thoughts away, the louder they seem to get. And so, the cycle of nighttime overthinking begins, with each thought feeding the next, creating a mental storm that can toss us and turn us all night long. Finding a way to quiet this internal noise becomes essential for our peace of mind. Our brains are incredible pattern recognition machines. It's how we make sense of the world around us, learn new things, and even predict what might happen next. This ability to find patterns is essential for our survival, but it can also lead us down some interesting paths, especially at night. In the darkness, when our senses are limited, our brains work overtime trying to fill in the gaps. They search for connections and meaning, even where none exists. This can lead us to ruminate on past events, replaying conversations in our heads and agonizing over things we wish we had said or done differently. Section 5. Taming the nighttime noise. Tips for a peaceful slumber. So, how do we break free from this cycle of nighttime overthinking? The good news is that there are several simple yet effective strategies we can incorporate into our daily routines to calm our minds and reclaim our sleep. One powerful technique is mindfulness meditation. By focusing on our breath and gently redirecting our attention away from racing thoughts, we can train our minds to be more present and less caught up in the past or future. Regular practice can help reduce stress, improve focus, and promote emotional well-being. Section 6. The power of perspective, reframing our thoughts. Another helpful approach is to challenge and reframe negative thoughts. Often our worries stem from irrational fears or worst-case scenarios that are unlikely to come true. By questioning these thoughts and looking for alternative perspectives, we can diminish their power over us. For example, instead of dwelling on a mistake made during the day, try focusing on what you learned from the experience and how you can use it to grow. Remember, everyone makes mistakes. It's how we learn and evolve. Be kind to yourself and focus on the positive aspects of your life. Section 7. Embracing the night. Finding peace in the darkness. Instead of viewing the night as a time for worry, let's try to reframe it as an opportunity for rest and rejuvenation. Our bodies and minds need sleep to function properly, so let's create a bedtime routine that promotes relaxation and prepares us for a peaceful slumber. This might include taking a warm bath, reading a book, listening to calming music, or practicing gentle stretches. Experiment with different activities to find what works best for you. The key is to create a relaxing and enjoyable pre-sleep ritual that signals to your mind and body that it's time to unwind and let go of the day's stresses. Section 8. A universe of thoughts, your turn to explore. The human mind is a vast and complex universe full of wonder, possibility, and yes, sometimes a little bit of overthinking. But by understanding why our brains seem to become more active at night, we can learn to manage those racing thoughts and reclaim the peace and quiet we deserve. What are your experiences with nighttime overthinking? What techniques have you found helpful in calming your mind and improving your sleep? Share your thoughts and experiences in the comments below. Let's continue this exploration of the midnight mind together.